Let's give yourselves a round of applause. There are many people here that I know from a long time ago, which is when I first knew Kit, and then there are many people I'm going to meet in between Evian waters as we go forward. But what we have in common is knowing this incredible person, who will now share some memories of, and I'm going to start by introducing someone who probably needs no introduction, our host here, one of the leaders, founders, pioneers, really, of the gay movement in Chicago, gay liberation, men and women, Mr. Art Johnson, our host.
Hello, folks. I have the great joy of saying welcome to our party for Kit. Welcome to Sidetrack. Thank you all for coming today. You know, why are we in a bar? Because that's what Kit asked for. And Kit said, I don't want any kind of a memorial service. I don't want people to be sad. I want a party. And imagine our thrill here at Sidetrack when Kit got even more specific and said she wanted it at Sidetrack. Kit was always a fan of this bar. More than that, when Kit came into our community as an organizer, let me tell you what it was like before Kit came and planted some seeds. When we opened this bar in 1982, the average life of a gay bar in the city of Chicago was 2 to 3 years because of the police harassment, which went on and on and on. One of the reasons that we have been here 33 years is because of the organizing work that Kit Duffy did in my community. In 1983, not long after we opened, I had a fellow, we were very small, 800 square feet, with a pool cue coming in to stir up trouble. And in my business, the first order of business, if there's a problem, is get it outside. Because if it's inside the bar, the police will immediately close you down. So we had this fellow out in front, and I was holding on to him for the cops to come. A young marked police car came by, asked what was going on. I told him, and he said, looked at me and said, oh, you're the fucking fag who owns this fag bar. We got enough fag bars around here, enough fags in Lakeview. We don't need any more. And they threw me in jail. And that's just to tell you what the situation was like. If you go to a gay pride parade today, you will see 2 completely separate gay police organizations. You'll see 4 gay athletic organizations. You'll see 5 gay supermarket employees float. You will see amazing things. In 1982, we had none of that. The only place gay people could meet was in a bar. So when someone asks you, why did the gay rights movement begin with a riot in front of a gay bar? That's exactly why, because that was all we had, and the police even tried to prevent us from meeting in a bar. It was common practice to come in, arrest everybody in the bar, and take us all to jail. That's the way it was until along came somebody named Kit Duffy. Now, clearly she found fertile ground in our community, but when Kit was finished getting our organizing going, and Kit did what Kit always does, which is move on to another underserved community. But the seeds that Kit planted have led to, it makes me smile when I read about the politically powerful gay community, because I guarantee you, I think about being called a fucking fag by the police, who were trying their best to shut us down. So, the modern gay rights movement in Chicago Cook County, Illinois. Goes back to Kit Duffy. And one of the single most important lessons Kit taught us, this is when we were working to pass a basic ordinance that said you can't fire people who deny them housing, public accommodations on the basis of their sexual orientation. When we first brought up for a vote, which by the way failed, we all had been told it was going to fail, but somehow, because we all had such passion, affection, respect for Harold Washington, somehow we went down to the city council chambers, many for the first time. And somehow we thought, you know what? It's going to pass. Because Harold's going to do it for us. He's going to get those votes. And you know what? He didn't get those votes. And he sent a message back to us through Kit over and over and over. If you want something, you better figure out how to get it for yourself. If Harold had pulled out those votes, which might have been possible, we would have had one vote. What we have now is something very different. So I just want to say that with Kit, our community felt that we belonged to Kit and she belonged to us. And she did. But she also belonged to so many, many, many other communities. And as soon as things got moving along in our community, Kit didn't hang around to become some power broker. It was never about ego for Kit. The next thing we know, we looked around and Kit was gone. Because she got it going. And then she moved on to bring her own particular smiling brand of troublemaking and organizing to another underserved community. So I'm thrilled that Kit wanted to be here, and Kit is here with all of us. And I've already had the pleasure of meeting so many folks here today who have had some of the same wonderful experience with Kit. So enough. Thank you all for coming to Kit's party. And let's make sure it's a wonderful party. Thank you all very much for coming.
Nice work, Art Johnston, keeping an incredible establishment alive all these years. What I had in common with Kit when I met her was that we were a couple of Irish girls who hated racism. That was about it. Which was enough, more than enough. One of the people who in the room who has known her the longest is coming up next, and that is Bennett Johnson. Not BJ, his dad.
See, Katie had to help me up the stairs. I guess I have distinct honor and advantage of a lot of them, of knowing Kit for a long, long time. And the reason was, of course, one of the things that joined us all together is the election and the administration of Harold Washington. Harold Washington and I went to Roosevelt together with Joe Savage and a lot of other people. But Roosevelt, one reason it happened was because Roosevelt was the first university probably in the country not to have quotas for blacks and Jews. So the blacks and Jews who had anything going for them went to Roosevelt. And Roosevelt is the center where we learned, not only in classroom, but in the cafeteria and in the street. We got the first black clerk hired on State Street and did many other things that we very well know. Harold, as some of you know, is with the regular organization. Gus and I started the Black Independent Movement, but Harold and I were running Gus, to say the least. And along the way came Kit. And so Kit was a running buddy, for the one better word, with Harold for many, many years. But Kit brought to the table something that's very rare. She did not recognize thought. She did not recognize gender as being something that was adverse or adversarial, a problem. She didn't recognize religion as being something different. That's what people did. And as indicated earlier, she smiled a lot. And I don't remember ever seeing her frown. She would just stop smiling. Then she really had a problem. The thing about it, though, is that I think it's so appropriate to have this celebration, and I use the word advisedly, in a bar. I think it's even more appropriate to have the only important input that the United States ever had as a key feature, which is black music. Wherever in the world, you'll find that that's what America is all about. And again, what Kit was all about was diversity, inclusion, changing. She was a change agent. And you could see it by looking around, the person next to you, the person across the bar, realizing that they may or may not be the same. But we're all together for one reason. Another important thing to remember in this thing we call life is that we're all human, we all are born at one point, and we all pass away at another. So nothing unusual about that, nothing at all. It's just that we miss these people whom we know so much. And I'd like to close with, I was an English major, so you have to understand why I'm doing this. There are several points that are important as far as death. One is Thomas Gray's elegy written in the country churchyard, which you haven't read, you should read it. The other one is In Memoriam by Tennyson, which was written for his beloved Arthur Howell. And the other one is John Donne. No man is an island entire of itself. Each piece of the continent a part of the man. If a cloud be washed away by the sea, Europe is at rest, as well as if a promissory, as well as if the manner of thine own or of thine friend were. Each man's death diminishes me, for I am involved in mankind. Therefore, said not to know for whom the bell tolls. The bell tolls for thee. Thank you.
Getting all fancy on us, John Donne and all, man. It tolls for thee. Amen. It does indeed. Okay, if we were a reunion, we would give a reward or an award to the person who came the furthest, right? There's a series of people, including the man who just preceded me, Ben Johnson's young man, his son, and a number of other people who consider themselves Kit's kids. You follow? Okay? When you're someone like me who proved to be unmarriable, why are you waiting? You wind up with kids who adopt you. By reason, in Kit's case, of being a tremendous advocate, example, friend, teacher, and again, I should mention friend. All the way from Norway, we have one of Kit's kids, Ellen, who's money in. Thank you.
We all being here, and I think she'd say, so this is what gathered us all, and got us together. Yeah, sorry to say she's not here, but in a way she is, like I said. A week ago, we got together, my family and I, and talked about Kit and what she meant to us and who she'd been in our family. And our family kind of united in the 1950s, and that was through the Girl Scouts. My mother and Kit met there, and my grandmother was going the same way, so she took Kit, brought her home, and that's where the friendship in our families kind of met. And it's been I see Kit as family, and we do in our home family. But my grandfather and Pat, Kit's father, they really turned into really good friends. And they died 2 days after each other as well. So it's, Pat was going to fetch Kit after my grandfather died, and he died waiting for Kit at the airport. But Kit had a very good connection with my mother, Ellen, and my great-grandmother, Nanya. And I thought I'd tell a story that I asked John if anyone knew here that she taught French. And she did. She knew a lot of French, but I don't think she kind of talked about it. But the reason, I think, is my Nanya, my great-grandmother, was at my grandparents' place, and Kit came over and said, "I've started to study French." And at that moment, Nanya said, "Well, I'll never talk to you in English again." And it was just French until she died. In lack of us being there, Kit, as in a way, my grandmother's daughter and her mother, they were very connected, and she took care of my grandmother when she died. We met Kit every vacation we had in the States. The reason I've been in the States, of course, my mother, she grew up here, and in Hagerstown, Maryland, where Kit lived. And we met up in Hagerstown every summer, and she came down from Chicago to be with us. And she was our favorite aunt, mother, what you call it. And it was great. It was a really treat when she came down. And I'm going to make this short. And I thought for Kit's 60th birthday, we all met up in Dublin. Kit wanted to kind of find her, she wanted to
find her Irish.
Yeah, find her Irish relatives and kind of get her Irish citizenship. This was in 2004, before Bush, and Bush was going for president. And she did not want to live here. So she was going there to get her Irish citizenship. But he won, and she stayed. And I guess that's because of all you guys. And what do you think when you think of Kit? And we all got kind of the same feeling, or we knew what Kit was to us. She was a warm person with great concern for all and everything that needs someone with an extra compassion. She was a great listener, up to date on everything, also digital world, and always up to date what was going on. And as we know, always up for discussion. She was an expert on seeing possibilities in situations and in people. She was also unafraid, open-minded, and extremely warm and including. And I think she made all of us feel special in some way or another. I think that's why we're here as well. We love Kit. And we all know that Kit did not believe in life after death. But I believe, and we believe, that's what my family and I believe, that she will always be with us in our memories. She will always be part of our lives. And I want you to know, we wanted I want to read a poem. He's an unknown writer. It just says unknown. But we read it in my mother's funeral, and I would like to read it here. And it's called "Though I Am Dead." Though I am dead, grieve not for me with tears. Think not of death with sorrowing and fears. I am so near that every tear you shed touches me, although you think me dead. But when you sing and laugh in pure delight, my soul is lifted upwards to the height. Laugh and be glad for all that life is giving, and I, though dead, shall share with you the joy of living. Thank you so much.
It's not at all surprising to hear of Kit's global touch. I'm glad she had it. Another Kit's Kids has joined us coming up here from Kentucky this weekend, and that is Ms. Jennifer Robinson.
Delighted to be here with so many other people who love Kit. I didn't think it was a unique situation. I think anybody who knew Kit loved her, but it's wonderful to see all you who don't know you. In telling people about coming up here this weekend and who Kit was, people ask, well, when did you meet Kit? Well, Kit and my mother met in 1972 at a National Organization for Women meeting in Indianapolis, and Kit lived there briefly. And that in itself, I love to speak that, because that, to me, is part of who Kit was for me as a feminist, and sorry guys, just that was the beginning of what I understood about her. Kit was also part of our family. We went on vacations together, and to me, she was always just this super cool woman that, even though she was a grown-up, she wasn't like my mom. She had a tattoo of an owl on her ass, which I thought was awesome. And she had this story about how she broke her ankle wearing platform shoes, which I also thought was amazing. And she was always just outside the box. I always felt like sort of an oddball myself, but I was like, Kit is an oddball, and she's totally got it going on. So it's okay to be a little bit different and to step outside the mainstream and to stand up for what you believe in. And there's just so much about who I feel like I am now that I really credit Kit for. I'm going to stop blubbering now, but thanks you guys for loving Kit. I'm so
she and all of you too.
Let's celebrate for Jennifer. Who can tell a joke while blubbering and still have people laugh? You just did that twice. Nice going. The next person speaking of her remembrances, of sharing her remembrances of Kit, is a gal who was my roommate when we were both delegates for Harold Washington to the 84 convention. Remember that, Charlotte? Come on up, Senator Maddie Hunter.
Thanks, Katie. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I first met Kit in 82 or 83 when Harold was congressman. And he was contemplating, well, he was focusing on running for re-election as well as contemplating running for mayor because he was getting pressure to run for mayor all at the same time. And so I worked for a guy at that time, Dennis Baim. And so Harold and Al Johnson and Jacoby Dickens and all those guys, they commenced a survey. And Bateman and I went out and we conducted the survey and found out that Harold could win this thing. Okay? And that's when I met Kit. You know, and Kit was giving advice, she was organizing, of course, and she was just helping to lay the groundwork up on the north side because we all knew that we needed a formula to win that race. And the formula was that we needed about 98-99% of the black vote on the south side. We needed about 11-13% from y'all lakefront liberals up here. And so, we got it. And in some instances, we were able to exceed the numbers that were set. And that's really how Harold got in and became mayor. And, Kit was up here organizing and talking to people that we did not know, but she knew them. And she believed in Harold and what he stood for because both of them felt the same way about issues and about people and how they wanted this city to look and run, And so those guys got together, and of course you know how Harold appointed Kit to a key position to pull together the gay community. And so after Harold left office, I stayed in contact with Kit for a couple of years, and then we lost contact with one another until I became a state senator in 80.
Yeah, really.
In 2002, December 2002. They're way off, right? And so Kit said, so what you doing, kiddo? And I got in contact with her through Jan Roller. And Jan, thank you for putting this whole party together, you and Art and some other people. So Jan got us together, and she said, so what are you going to stand for? I know who you are, I know how you feel about the community and about people and about Chicago, but what are your issues? So you got to think about what your issues are. You got the plan. She said, you already learned strategy from Vince Bateman, I know that. But you got to stay focused. And I said, damn, she's the most radical ass white woman I've ever seen before. Because Kit made you think.
Yes.
She really, really made you think, and she made you think out the box. She was always challenging you. So what you gonna do about this? What you gonna do about that? Y'all got a mess down the street. This is before Robert, of course, so it's a big mess now. And so she had some of the best action words. She always believed in fairness. She always wanted change. If things weren't working, she said, let's figure out how to fix this thing, And then she would bring people together to make sure that it would happen, And so, I've been a senator this year. This month made it the 14th year that I've been a state senator. And I must add that I've never had anybody to run against me, you know. And I have to contribute that to Jan and to Kit, because it kept me on target, it kept me focused, and it kept me out of trouble. They kept me out of trouble. You know, they said, you see all those people getting indicted and they taking money under the table? Don't you do that. If they come to you wanting whatever, so you turn around and go the other way.
Right.
And most of the time I ran like hell when I saw something. So even if I thought I saw something getting ready to go down, you know. And so Kit, every 2 or 4 years when I was running for office, Kit is the one that put together she answered the questions for my candidate survey. She was a great writer, she was a great vision, you know. And so because Kit had gotten into my head, and so she knew what I was about. She went online, she conducted research on all the bills that I had passed, and she really knew what I stood for and how I felt about different issues. And so Kit would sit down and she filled out all of my survey, and she did that as a business for other candidates as well. And we all paid her. And so one day I had to make a deadline. And I was like 4 hours away from making my deadline. A kid called and said, damn, my printer broke. I said, oh shit, Kit, what are we gonna do? She said, I don't know. So I ran to the store and I bought her a damn printer. And I gave it to her, you know. And so whenever things happen, she called me and I said, okay, I can do that for you. Sure, no problem, you know, because it's helping me as well. And so before I would sign off on my surveys, and I send them in to the Tribune sometimes, and whoever else requested them, some of them moving to other lobbyist groups. I would read it and I said, hey, Kid, I would have said all of this stuff. You're all right, Kid. You're all right, you know. And I was happy to have Kit on my team. She was a team player, and she made sure that you were clean, that you were accurate, and that you were focused. And that is what I will always remember about Kit. Wanted to make sure that you were always fair and honest. And she said, as long as you stay clean and honest, Maddie, I will always be with you. And she did until she left this service. I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to thank you so very much. And I've definitely lost a very dear friend. So thank you, and God bless you.
Wonderful. Senator Hunter, very beautiful. I did read some of the Facebook comments, Kit's page, you know, the new version of the village board. It's actually quite wonderful at the time of losing someone special, because you get to share with others on that one page, you know, what's going on for you. And losing people is something that you never get used to, no matter how much more often it happens. A couple of the comments that rang true for me: solid. Kit's solid and reliable. But the best ones were, she was a straight up bruiser. Knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that about her. We had that in common. I didn't even know she was straight for the first 5 years I knew her. And I'm thinking she didn't know the same thing about me. Okay. Our next sharer needs no introduction. This is a plant that is coming across my face.
It's a lovely plant.
But Laura's going to be taller than that. Miss Laura Washington.
Hi, everybody. Hey. I'm so honored to be here tonight, to be part of a first talk with people to speak about Kit. But any one of you in this room could be here and share great stories and great reflections, because that's the thing about Kit. She touched so many people and touched so many parts of the city, and amazing things she did. But I guess there's one word for my theme, for my comments about Kit, and the word is nerve. Because she had a lot of nerve. And you know what? I have to say that one more time with my hands on my hips. She had a lot of nerve. Because that's really the way you got to get it across. I covered Harold Washington, as has been said before. She was a very close ally to Harold Washington. I covered his campaign in the early 80s and was honored to be part of his administration. That's where I first got to know and work with Kit. And I watched as he very wisely tapped her to be the first city liaison to the gay and lesbian community. And as has been mentioned, she happened to be straight. The nerve of her. But yet Kit was the perfect choice. Her appointment was such a potent symbol for what Harold Washington was trying to do. To try to blast open the doors of City Hall to everyone. She was an outsider in many ways. She was an outsider, she was straight. But that gave her a special kind of space and leverage to operate in. And of course, as you know, probably better than anybody else, she needed it. Because when it comes to politics, there's two communities that I love more in Chicago than any other. Of course, my own, the African American community, and the other community is the LGBT community. And those two communities are the most complicated, diverse, irascible, intractable, difficult, powerful, pushy, creative, and history major. And Kit traveled flawlessly within and between both of those communities. And she was very effective in those worlds, and of course it's been mentioned in many other worlds. And you know why it is? Because she had the nerve. She was always in campaign mode. She was always working with activists as an advisor, as a strategist, as a muse. She was not knee-jerk in her beliefs. She was not let's all get along kind of person. She would take on and take out fellow progressives, conservatives, with equal vigor and analysis. That's nerve. When I talked to her more recently, she was always a bit frustrated with progressives who she felt were straying away from their roots, from advocacy and from truth-telling. And they were becoming a little bit too cozy with the establishment. She was saying in some ways that they were losing their nerve. That's why she was so excited that probably it was her last campaign to work informally on the Trudy Garcia campaign. She felt it was really taking the progressive movement back to its roots at a very crucial time in the city. We talked about that a lot. Kit was fearless and unflinching. She was a leader, as it's been said, who was quietly inspiring other people to lead. She was on the phone, she was on Facebook, she was on email, always pushing and prodding friends and allies to the edge and then over the edge. And through it all, Kit never lost her nerve. There was always more to do, always more to say about LGBT issues, about reproductive rights, about healthcare, about racial and economic inequities, and a slew of other causes. Her emails and social media posts, which I read avidly, were brimmed with her keen political analysis, always raising those questions, always thinking out, as it's been said, outside the box, naming names, but all with that trademark dry wit of hers. And of course, the nerve. So here we are in Sidetrack, and she's looking down on us with that cocktail in her hand somewhere, and she's insisting that we carry on. She's saying, especially right now when there's so much going on in the city, that we're, in the fact that the city in many ways is a historic crossroad, she's saying that we're going to have to go on without her. We're going to have the nerve. That is Kit's true legacy. And she will always be there for us, and she will make sure that we always have the nerve. Thank you.
Okay, Laura Washington, it's your fault. I like teared up. Kit wanted you all together, and everyone here is grateful that we are all together in her honor at Arts Place. What I loved most about Kit as a comrade was that she was a true comrade. She was a person who understood the meaning of being an ally. For white people in this city, for some of us, it is such a relief to run into fellow people who look like this. I'm beginning to not claim whiteness anymore, but that's another thing. Who understood our job was to be true allies, and that learning what that job is made up of never ends when you were born this way in Chicago. So I love Kit for her anti-racism. And the quote on her Facebook page, and I'll turn it over, you should all be refilling your champagne if you don't have it already. Her quote on her Facebook page is from Nelson Mandela, of course, and it says, "We can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference." I guess that's Kit's message, eh?
Yeah.
All right, Art Johnson's going to bring it to a close, and then it's time to pate.
Well, what a wonderful afternoon. So, we're going to do something that I'm going to ask Kit's forgiveness for. Because we promised a party. But there is one piece we play here at Sidetrack regularly. And when we play this piece, I always think of Kit Duffy. So we're gonna play that piece now. And I think you'll see why this reminds us of Kit. This is a piece from one of the great modern American musicals called Wicked. And it's called For Good.